feel good, and you have no idea. Today, accompanied by God's light, right there. We are live. My goodness, does it feel good to say that? This is Driving the Line, your daily sports and sports betting brand of record. We are live every single day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. You can also catch us on all of the stadium apps at 3 p.m. Eastern time, even Christmas Day this week. We will have a show in the morning and also 3 p.m. Eastern, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube TV, Direct TV, Roku TV, the list goes on and on. If you are new, we'll have a lot of new viewers this week. I'm your boy, the coach. I navigate this ship, but I got the best damn crew in the business. I'll get out all of the stories, planes, trains, automobiles, but that's why we have a crew. Now, we had an incredible weekend, an incredible day at the pay window. Look at the boys picking up the pieces. My man, AB. I'm not a math major, but that's 6-2. Charles, 3-2 in his little 5-pack. Throw some NFL in there for the morning show. And Rafael Esparza, a perfect 3-0. That's what the crew does. But it didn't stop there. How about Seabass, the only 5-star chef in the game, a perfect 3-0. My man, Tommy C, coming through strong. Now, we got a ton of content all the time here at the brand. Follow our YouTube page, turn on your notifications, and every single time we start any content, you will be notified, including a fresh podcast almost every single day. Now, video for you premium members, you get it. Audio, courtesy of Pantheon, our partners, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Now, with all the sincerity and humbleness in the world, I bring in my partner of almost a year. And AB, a year ago, I was sitting in this room, and all the circumstances were different than what they are right now. And it's hard to believe that 365 days later, you and I still together, killing it, starting something fresh, and we're right back here again. Merry Christmas. Thank you for picking up the pieces this weekend. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. Merry Christmas to you as well. Yeah, you know what? Can't keep two good men down. All right, we just keep fighting, baby. Look, hey, and I got to give you some praise here too, man. Look, this is why it's so difficult in the league to play road games, all right? But you came out already. Look, quick touchdown. All right, got ahead. You're putting the pressure there on the home team. So well done, Coach. Look at sharp, man.
Thank you very much. I'll have my entire story coming up in Monday Mishaps. We got some good ones coming up today. But as always, let's find out what Howie Schwab would have done today. What are the selections today, AB?
Young Howard Schwab would have been all over this game, all right, because might not look good on paper, but betting games is always a good time. You're going to go Saints plus 14, Packers minus 14. You're going to go over 42.5 or under 42.5. Polls in the chat. Vote now. Update as we always do at the end of the show.
That is how we play together, because we are always together here at the crew. Shout out to Big Cheesy. He goes, that was a bad day, but it was all meant to be. You're damn right. Thanks for the hard work, fellas. This is much better now. Couldn't say it any better myself. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the nonsense is over. All the housekeeping is done. You guys know who we got. So it's time for the picks. Do not forget, hit that like button on the way in. It really helps the show grow. By the way, Seabass is in there. Clearly, he was up all night at the club because he got in second gym last night, but he's still in there. Now, look at all these gorgeous faces. And I got to go to my man from Miami for stepping in, as he always does. Ladies and gentlemen, the Z-Man. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. Hope everyone's doing all right. Had an action-packed weekend. First ever college football playoff home games. We had the NFL side-by-side as well on Saturday. Had a full slate yesterday. My favorite little hockey team won last night as well. That's a great start to the week, guys. Good to be with you.
It's great to be with you. So much venom coming out of the college football playoffs. We'll talk about that coming up in Monday Mishaps a little bit. Now, this man just literally smiles. Do not let the nice guy fool you. My man will be in the chat the entire show after the A's. Any questions? You guys know you love these days. He's the man from the dirty. Big Chuck. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Coach Crew. Glad to see you this morning. And I want to definitely send a special shout out to DG and Seabass picking up those extra gems over the weekend. Hey, excited about this week. Ready to get it going.
You really want to piss me off this early in the morning. That's what you really want to do.
Just had to salute the brand.
And finally, he's our numbers guy for a reason. Please welcome in Raphael Esparza. Good morning, Raphael.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. It's a lovely Monday because you know why? Last night was the last day of antibiotics. Open up the liquor tonight.
Woo, he's going to have himself half a beer tonight, boys. Don't even kid yourself. Don't even kid yourself. All right, we've got to get into it. We've got a ton of plays, a ton of picks, but real quick, I want to go around because there was so much that happened this weekend. What jumped out? I know we got mishaps coming, but AB, as you looked at the weekend and you looked at the NFL, 4 blowouts in the college football, when you were sitting at home, what stuck out to you the most?
Go to the college football playoff. All right, so all 4 home teams covered the spread. All 4 home teams won by double digits. No more home games now, but something to remember for next year that they all handle their business.
Very, very good. Z, coming over to you. What jumped off the screen to you?
The reaction to the home teams winning the games in blowout fashion. You know, as if because the home teams won in blowout fashion against lower seeded teams, that means the committee got it wrong somehow. Like those teams who were in the playoffs and were the lower seeded teams, they earned their right to be there. They earned that spot. You know, in the NBA, when the 1 seed beats the 8 seed or the 2 seed beats the 7, we don't talk about how, they didn't belong there. No, like they were the 7 seed. They were the 8 seed. It's the same thing here with college football. If you're allowing 12 teams into the college football playoff, these are going to be flawed teams, and blowouts are certainly possible. The committee didn't get anything wrong here. Those teams earned the right to be there, and they got their asses kicked. It's not really that difficult to understand.
Z-Man goes every single week for ESPN to a big college football game. My man knows. That's why we have him on the damn crew. Now, Raphael, let me come over to you. What jumped off to you today?
I would say some NFL teams that are not playing for playoffs, but playing like they're going to the playoffs, a.k.a. the Cincinnati Bengals. Now they're playing the Denver Broncos this week. That could be another spoiler team for the Denver Broncos. I like these teams. We saw it last night, the Cowboys fighting maybe for the coach to get an extension. I like teams who are playing for maybe nothing, but playing for contracts and bonuses.
Big Chuck, talk to me, big boy.
It'd be the Eagles for me. It could be another late season collapse. They lost their chance to close out the division yesterday. The number 1 seeds has potential. That's pretty much gone. Then they have an injury crisis going in with a motivated Cowboys. So now the division could also be in jeopardy. So the Eagles really stuck out to me.
Yeah, they really did. Losing 2 quarterbacks. They lose the game with less than 20 seconds to go in the game in Washington. And now we're setting up potentially. Could be great. Lions and Vikings, they meet in week 18. That could be for the number 1 seed in a bye. Can't get any better than that. All right, we got picks from everybody this morning. So let's jump right into it. AB, if you don't mind, start us off.
I'll tell you what, I'd like to start off since Raphael's getting into the brown liquor tonight. I'd like to see what his picks are going to be here in about 6 hours. All right, I'm going to take Josh Jacobs, Packers running back, 2+ touchdowns at plus 190. 2 touchdowns at plus 190. These are usually plus 800. That should go to tell you it's going to be cold. Big favorite. I think that the Packers keep things simple. Give me Jacobs to get 2 touchdowns. And then also on the other side, Saints quarterback Spencer Rattler. All right. Let me get him over 4.5 rush attempts at plus money as well. What happens when you're a quarterback? You're young. All right. Pressure's coming. You tend to get flushed out of the pocket and take off running. I think he's going to do that tonight. We should get a nice chunk of rushing.
I think we continue on. Those are 2 great plays right there. Spencer Rattler, courtesy of Netflix all the way back in high school. All right, Charles. Now, Mondays aren't a busy day on the pitch, but an important day on the pitch. Give me your 3.
Serie A, Fiorentina, Udinese. Fiorentina, they come into this contest having scored 8 of their last 9 matches, while Udinese, they've scored in 6 of their previous 8 affairs. I like that scoring to continue today with the both teams to score. Then Inter Milan, they welcome Como to the San Siro, with Inter Milan averaging 2.4 team goals at home and also conceding 1.3 goals on their home pitch. I'll also back another both teams to score in this spot. Lastly, we travel to Portugal, where Benfica, they face Estoril, and I'll take the first half over 1.5 goals, with Benfica home matches averaging 1.9 first half goals.
I don't think I heard you correctly. I thought I heard you say Serie A. Was that what you said? Yeah, or Syria. Oh, that feels good. All right, Raphael, coming over to you, big boy. 2 big plays. Let's go.
I want the Saints team total touchdowns over 1.5 plus 110. I was a little bit shocked I was getting plus 110 to hit this number last week. Spencer Rattler played really well in the second half. He was able to move the ball. I think they put up the 2 touchdowns on this one. Hopefully we have some synergy on the board. So I'll take the plus 1.5, plus 110. And then we're going to Chicago where the Milwaukee Bucks come to the Bulls. And I'm taking Zach LaVine over 20.5 points and assists. This one opened up at 25.5. A little shocked that they went out a full point. He's averaging for his career 18.5 points per game, his career against the Bucks. I think if the Bulls don't want to get blown out tonight, they're going to need some points with Zach LaVine. So I'm going to take this over points and assists.
Busy night in the association. 14 games on the docket tonight. Z-Man, you're up.
Look, you know I'm a huge Florida Panther fan, the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, all right? So you may see my picks and say, wow, Zaslow, you're being a homer. But 2 things can be true. I could be a homer in this spot, and I could also be right, and that's the case here. So the Panthers, they're playing the second day of a back-to-back home and home with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yesterday, the Panthers took that ass. They beat the Lightning 4-2. They had 2 shorthanded goals, the Panthers, in the same penalty kill. Very embarrassing for the Lightning. The point is, the Panthers own the Lightning. After all those years, it was the other way. It's our turn now, baby. So the second day in a row, I believe the Panthers, now back at home at Amerant Bank Arena, are going to take it to the Lightning. So I love playing the Panthers puck line. The puck line is minus 1.5. And if I could see the odds there real quick, Mr. Producer Man, the Panthers are a plus 160, all right? They won by 2 goals yesterday. Everybody knows you just got to be up by 1 goal late. You get the empty net. That's what happened yesterday. So Panthers puck line minus 1.5, plus 160. And the Panthers, a dominant showing is almost always the case for them when it comes to shots on goal. They're one of the best in the league. So let's go with first to 5 shots in the game. Panthers minus 125. They're at home. They're coming off of a win against their rival. I like the Panthers coming out very strong tonight. Those are 2 green check marks right there. Just put it up.
I can honestly say we've never had that bet on the show in the history of the show.
It's a good one, right?
I feel like it's if you're going to get nuts, let's get nuts type of play. That's what I feel
I'm not
like.
trying to wait around all game and cash my bet. Let's go. I want to do this right away. I need spending money. Come on.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's finish it up with myself. If you're going to cash with the coach, I'm feeling good today. Am I in my feelings a little bit? Yeah, I'm in my feelings a little bit today. But guess what? My first one, Saints plus 14. I see you all in the chat going, oh, they may not score. The last time there was a spread this big as far as a finishing line for a Saints game, whether they won by 14 or lost, was week 7. Week 7. Did you hear Josh Allen yesterday at the end of the game talk about not showing too much? They were also a 14-point favorite. These teams just care about getting in and getting out. That's why I love Josh Jacobs tonight over 90.5 rush yards. I love that AB played him for 2+ touchdowns. Why? Because they're just going to run the ball and run the ball and run the ball. I see something like 24-14, 24-17. Saints will not win, but Josh Jacobs will have a big game. They will stay within 14. And then if you notice how bad the Jazz defense is, it's horrible. In fact, you take out the last game against the brutal Nets. Here's the totals for Jazz games. 241, 251, 260, 237, 240, 239. Translation, the Cavs are really good. They also play to the pace of their opponent. I like that over 232 minus 110. Shout out to Beyond the Script, a nice little super sticker for us that goes straight to production. So thank you very much. Gentlemen, great start to the show. But I got to be honest with you. I am very excited about Monday Mishaps coming up on the other side of the break. Also, for you that are the degenerates of the show, all of you, Charles will be going into the chat. Any questions you have on any sport, he's our guy. He will answer them for you in real time. And Japan, I knew you're going to have a gym joke. That's all right. I was prepared. Shout out to DG. Shout out to Seabass. Another gym, another in the club, and I still stand outside in the cold. We're just getting started. We made it through the week, and I feel good today. It's DTL. Oh, and we are a vibe. Okay, all of you degenerates out there, we continue on our YouTube page, and a very somber first break topic today, but this was one of the greats, but he's only 65 years old. AB, Ricky Henderson, the greatest leadoff hitter in the history of baseball. He died on Sunday, but man, was he entertaining. Anybody that's old enough remembers that.
Oh, he was unbelievable. I mean, one of the best of all time, right? And So many legendary stories. There was one, he got on the bus. I believe he had gotten with the Yankees, and he gets on the bus and he's like, where do I sit? Right. The first time, and the coach says, Ricky, sit wherever you want, man. You've got tenure. And he goes, tenure? I've played this league for 15 years. The coach just looked at him and was like, all right, whatever.
Z, what are your thoughts about Ricky Henderson?
Yeah, I think it's pretty rare these days that you have a player who everyone liked, everyone thought was so cool, everyone loved watching. And that was certainly the case for me growing up in the 80s and then into the 90s with Ricky Henderson. I mean, I know he played on a lot of teams, all right? But for me, Ricky Henderson, I always pictured him as an Oakland Athletic on those really good athletic teams. And everyone has Ricky Henderson stories, like AB said. I love the one that floats around about John Olerud. Maybe it was when Ricky was with the Blue Jays, and he said to Olerud, hey, you wore a helmet in the field. I used to play with a guy who wore a helmet in the field. And Olerud says, yeah, Ricky, that was me. We were teammates last year.
Oh, so great. I got about 20 seconds, Raphael. I know that was right in your wheelhouse when you were growing up.
It's just the greatest base stealer of all time. I mean, Vince Coleman was fast watching him for the Cardinals, but Ricky Henderson studied the pitchers and how he stole bases, which is mind-blowing.
Big Chuck, I got about 15 for you.
Love Ricky. Sad day to see him pass away, but yeah, he was an iconic figure. He really set the tone for that leadoff spot.
All right, Dave says, I was at that A's home game where Ricky should have beaten the record against. It was crazy. But when he said, I am the greatest of all time, I don't think we've ever heard anybody else say that before or after Ricky Henderson. He was the greatest of all time. The numbers are staggering. And Major League Baseball is trying to change the rules so they can get back to stealing bases. Nobody will do like he did. All right, Charles will go into the chat. It's time for Monday Mishaps. We're back in 5 seconds. Okay, everybody, the Christmas week has officially begun. It is December 23rd, but we never miss a day. It may not always be a full-hour show. It may not always be what you expect, but we're always here because we pick each other up. Now, this time every single week, we call it Monday Mishaps. What kind of jumped off the screen to my crew that didn't go as well as maybe people thought that it should have? We've got a lot of different topics today, but AB, if you don't mind, Monday Mishaps, where are you going today, sir?
Coach, all week I heard Aaron Rodgers talk about this is how you build culture. This is how you build a team. Look, you guys are all idiots. All right, listen to me. I know what I'm doing. Well, went out, scored 9 points against the Rams at home. 9. That's it. 9. Lost the game. Yeah, I don't ever want to hear Aaron Rodgers tell anyone ever about how to build culture, what to do with anything. He is a fraud. Ryan Clark's exactly right. And he's a fake smart guy. He likes to put books, all right, but in his background, books that he's never read. I guarantee he's never read a single damn one of those books. He just went to Barnes & Noble and bought $10,000 worth of books and put them up. Didn't read one of them.
16-9. Rams, by the way, are 9-6 in first place. So they
19-9.
Yeah, or 19-9. That's right. They won by 10. Sorry, I forget some of the scores sometimes. All right, speaking of scores, I'm going to go over to Z. Z, there's something that fell way under the radar, but not in your house.
Man, the Miami Heat, who are so average this year, they led the Magic by 22 at the start of the fourth quarter on Saturday night, a game that they dominated against. And the Magic are a good team, but they were very shorthanded. No Franz Wagner, no Mo Wagner, no Paolo Banchero, no Jalen Suggs. I mean, they were very, very shorthanded. And the Heat, they were without Jimmy Butler, but so what? They were ahead by 21 at the start of the fourth. They were outscored in the final period 37-8. A game that the Heat led by 22 at the start of the fourth. They lost by 7. Sometimes, guys, there are days in the NBA where you need a little bit of a nudge to kind of make a big move. And I feel like we may wind up looking back at that game and being that was the moment where the Heat decided, all right, we need to make a big move, not a rebuild, but maybe a bit of a reset. I think that may be what we saw on Saturday night with the Heat.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. By the way, Jared says, I'm ready for the let's get nuts from Z-Man. Don't worry
We'll
about it. In
see.
2025, he's going to have his own segment. We're just
You
gonna figure
can't
out-
force it, all right? You can't force it, Coach. Like, it comes organically.
You're the best. You're the absolute best. All right, Raphael. AB already talked about the college football playoffs. Z already talked about the college football playoffs. But there was one very, very powerful, large voice that said some things that I was a little bit surprised at. Where are you going today?
Coach, I'm a big horse guy. I love horse racing, so I'm going to go and beat the dead horse some more. Kirk Herbstreit, what are you talking about? Talking about Indiana didn't belong there and all these other schools, SMU didn't belong in a tournament. We don't complain when Stenson gets blown out in Kansas in March Madness. We don't say Stenson didn't belong there. What are you talking? Do you think Oklahoma or Alabama would have done anything better if they went to Notre Dame in that cold weather? They would have got blown out. Ask Vanderbilt, ask Oklahoma what they did. I'm tired of Kirk Herbstreit just pumping up what he's supposed to say to the SEC because he's on ESPN and we have to live, read, and born SEC TV. I'm tired of it. Kirk Herbstreit, shut your mouth. Let these other schools get in. I want to see it. I'm hoping Boise State wins now. I am putting a double mortgaging my house on Boise State so I can text Kirk Herbstreit or email him or anyway and say, hey, look, Boise State just won.
He not only went after the committee, he went after fans. I mean, he was calling fans names. I was like, wow. All right, but, you know, it is what it is. AB, yes.
Yeah. Look, man, that's funny. I'm laughing about that. I'll say this. Mike Golick, okay, calls the Sunday night football games on Westwood 1, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I can't remember the host's name, but he's phenomenal. Speaking of just broadcasting, I listened to it last night, like on the road. It was great. Like, I just want to give like positivity to shout out to him. Like, it was phenomenal. He says just enough, but lets the game go. It's great. If you're ever out on a Sunday night, turn it on. I'd forgotten that he does that. And he's fantastic, man. He really is.
Thank you, AB. And I say this with all the respect in the world. That is 35 seconds of my life that I cannot get back. I cannot get back. Now, my Monday mishaps, it's more of kind of a Friday mishap. And I've joked about it. I was not on social media all weekend. I'm going to make this very quick, but this is how I never thought I'd be sitting in this chair today. Now, Friday, I did Friday football with you guys, right? Then we head to the airport, me and my two beautiful children, and we get their 10:04 flight. They don't tell us anything. People are going crazy at Orange County Airport. Everything's delayed, canceled, whatever. It's 70 degrees and sunny outside. So I'm sitting there. What do we do? And I just watched my daughter just pour her eyes out, dropping our dog Buddy at the daycare. Gonna miss it for 2 weeks. And then the unthinkable happens. I get that text from American Airlines. They rebooked me on a 3:00 flight from Phoenix to Kansas City on Saturday. This was Friday. So what do? It's 1,600 miles. Well, you do what anybody would do. You go get a rental car and you get on the road. Out of LA to go 32 miles took us 2 hours. 2 hours. We stopped for gas in Nevada. I go in, I get something come out. The door won't shut. My son didn't like the child lock. I said, why in the world are we hitting on the child lock when we're going 90 miles an hour down the highway? So we had to call a guy, $180 for him to show up to try and fix the child lock. As he's on his way, somehow the child lock fixes itself. So we had to call the guy. He's pissed off to turn around. We're in Bristow, Nevada. And then we had to drive and drive and drive and drive. But ladies and gentlemen, 1,600 miles, 20 hours later, we arrived at the friendly confines. And that is how I am here today. That is not a Monday mishap. That is a Friday and Saturday mishap. And to really put the cherry on top, guys, I got a text from American Airlines last night around 10 o'clock or so. And it said, your gate has been changed. The flight from Friday is still in California. It never took off on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. That is as big a mishap as I've ever had in my life. But we are here and we are safe, and I never want to make that drive again. But I will say this, that one of the things I was able to do was watch a lot of football in the car. That couldn't happen 20 years ago. And now we got 4 new quarterfinal games. So I want to go around and I want to see from my guys what games they're most looking forward to, because we still have about 9 or 10 days. I want to get the jump on it. So, Z, I want to start with you. You're my college football guy. 4 big games. There they are right there. AB, great job on the graphic. Which one of these 4 are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, for me, it's easy. It's the Sugar Bowl. Now you got to remember, the first round of the playoffs, those were home games. Now we get to the big, New Year's 6 bowl games. That's the site of all these 4 games here. We have these 4 quarterfinals, and then the final 2 games of the New Year's 6 games are the semifinal games. So Texas and Arizona State, that's the Peach Bowl. Ohio State and Oregon, that's the granddaddy of them all. That's the Rose Bowl. Cool. Penn State, Boise State, that's the Fiesta Bowl. And Notre Dame and Georgia, that's the Sugar Bowl. The semifinal is the Cotton Bowl and the Orange Bowl. And the way that I understand it, the highest ranked team that advances after the quarterfinals gets to choose if they want to go to Dallas for the Cotton Bowl or if they want to go to Miami for the Orange Bowl. That's the way I understand it. I'm pretty sure that's the way it is, all right? But for me, the game that I'm looking forward to most, it is the Sugar Bowl. It's Notre Dame, Georgia. I mean, and you could see it's the lowest line. Georgia is a 1.5-point favorite. It also happens to be the 4th and final game of the quarterfinals. Everything gets started on New Year's Eve with the Fiesta Bowl, Penn State, Boise State, and then you have a triple header the next day, ending with Notre Dame and Georgia. For me, that's the game I'm looking forward to most.
Hashtag educate. You guys will not believe. You guys look at that. How about that? How about that?
Take it easy, man. Take it easy.
AB, what are you looking forward to?
I'll look forward to all of them, but I'll say this. Ohio State, Oregon, that's going to be a game they've played before. That Notre Dame, Georgia, all right? And look at the total, all right? Look at the difference between the top 3 and that one. I'm telling you, take the over in Notre Dame and Georgia. That is not going to be a defensive battle because everything that Georgia does with their backup quarterback, Notre Dame has issues with. And everything that Notre Dame does pretty damn well, Georgia has issues with. That 44 is ripe.
Raphael, talk to me, big boy.
You already know how I feel about the Penn State Boise State because I'm just rooting and praying for that one. But I agree, Notre Dame and Georgia. I want to see if New Orleans is all red for this game because it's an easy drive to Atlanta to come to New Orleans so that we can see a big Georgia fan base. But 100% agree with AB. I think the total 44, really? I thought it was going to be like around 47.5. I think that's what I made my original number. So I think we see a high scoring game. It wouldn't shock me if that's the highest scoring game of those 4 games. I think running both sides. I think the quarterback issue for Georgia, he has some wheels. We could see a lot of quarterback sneaks from Georgia, and he could score some rushing touchdowns. I can't wait to watch that game.
I'm really, really excited about that. For me, it's going to be that Ohio State-Oregon game because I think we saw an Ohio State team that we haven't seen since the beginning of the year when they played Oregon and only lost by 1. And the books clearly say that on a neutral site in a bowl game that Ohio State is the better team. But Oregon is the number 1 team in the country. AB, let's go like 30 seconds quickly. Should Ohio State be favored here?
Yeah, I don't mind it. It'll be a home game for Ohio State. Their fans will travel, and it's not a shot at Oregon by any means. But, yeah, Ohio State, they've seen them. And now that you gave them a shot in the arm, you know what I mean? Well, I'm not saying you gave them. They earned it. This Ohio State team might be dangerous, boys. I'd keep an eye on that one for sure.
20 seconds, Z.
Yeah, I mean, I all of them are going to be great, okay? I think the one thing that stands out to me as well is the 2 biggest lines, the double-digit lines, are the games that involve the favorites, the conference champions who got the automatic buys. They are double-digit dogs. I would keep an eye on that moving forward in future years when we're talking about possible changes. If you're one of the favorites and you get an automatic buy, you shouldn't then be a double-digit dog. So that right there, I think, is something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the positive changes that they will make, that the top 4 teams in the country will get a bye. That's the way it should be, and I think that's an easy tweak that they can make for next year, and nobody is going to be sad about that. All right, still to come. We're about halfway through. We still got Monday Night Football. We got overs. We got unders. We got all of that. It's detailed to Monday. Huge live audience. It's a vibe. All right, you degenerates that continue to watch on our YouTube channel. Now, AB, yesterday the Eagles may have lost more than just the chance to have the number 1 seed. Their number 1 quarterback, Jalen Hurts, out. Number 2 quarterback, Pickett, is out. So going forward, is this going to be a scenario for the Eagles that they're going to get in? They're already in the playoffs. But what do you do when you lose 2 quarterbacks in week 16?
Yeah, it's tough. Now, with Jalen Hurts, losing to a concussion, okay, like I could deal with that. It's much better than, a knee injury, right? So as long as he's getting better, healthy, and all that, they'll be completely fine, right? Like I'm not concerned with that whatsoever. It's a tough loss, but it's a good win for Washington. But yeah, as long as it's like a concussion thing, I'm good. Like he'll be all right. He'll fight back.
Tyreek Hill said that the fact he's dropping catches is because he hasn't had a lot of time with Tua. Tua's been back 3 or 4 weeks. What is he saying?
Well, he's been held out of practice. Like Tyreek is dealing with some injuries. That's more on his end, where he also said, I need to practice instead of rest. So that's really about his availability. But I think it's kind of nonsense because as great as Tyreek Hill was his first 2 years with the Dolphins, and he has not been great this year. He's not had a good year. Tyreek, he's not afraid to drop a pass. All right. In his 3 years with the Dolphins, he will drop passes. So I don't think his lack of practice time in dealing with the injuries he has this year, that doesn't play much of a role for me to his production this year. And also, Tyreek in big games, it's been a no-show. His 3 years with the Dolphins, not good in a big spot, Tyreek Hill.
All of a sudden, nobody's complaining about Kansas City getting rid of him 3 or 4 years ago. Quickly, Raphael, yesterday I completely just lost my train of thought. But one other big NFL thing, because I had a good tee up for you. You got about 20 seconds.
I'm still going to run with the Bengals. I mean, there could be spoiler killers for the rest of the next 2 days. I'm looking forward to see if they spoil a lot of people's Christmases.
Very interesting. We do have, and I hadn't even really looked at it, but the 4 teams that played Saturday, they just flip-flop opponents, and they will play on Wednesday on Christmas Day. The Chiefs continue to figure out ways of getting it done. 14-1 now. 14-1. You got to give them a shout-out. All right, we continue on. It's DTL. We're back in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We have crossed the bottom of the hour, and we're going to get into Monday Night Football in a second, but real quick, because the next 2 weeks, holidays are always really highly viewed shows, but a lot of shows throughout this fall have kind of dropped off. They've been canceled. Everything's evolving. The media is evolving. And AB, producer man, can I get the 4 shot? Thank you. I'm looking at our live number right now. And it is bananas for a Monday morning that this many people on a holiday weekend are watching our show live. It's crazy. Is it crazy to you?
It absolutely is. And I'll tell you what, everybody, if you want to watch an algorithm in real time, seriously, please do me one favor. I'll never ask you for anything. Right now, pull your phone down, hit the like button, okay, and pull it back up. That's all you have to do. And watch what the algorithm does. I'll show you exactly how Google's entire operation gets down right now. Just hit that
in
like
the
button.
Next 3 minutes. By the way, John says, how many hats do you think Coach brought on his vacation? This is a vacation? This is a vacation. Don't tell my mom this is a vacation. All right.
Family trip.
By the way, I brought 6. Now, tonight's a 14-point spread. Z, let me come over to you, because when you're talking about betting on the NFL in week 17 and week 18, it becomes a different animal. And you see this number. Packers are favored by 14. Yesterday, the Bills were favored by 14. They won by 3. They, in fact, were down by 14 early on in the game. So as we look at it, I thought myself, that's why I'm playing the Saints tonight, because there's a lot of teams that don't care. And what Josh Allen said to me is the exact reason why I picked the Saints. How do you handicap things when you get to the final 2 weeks of teams that don't want to show too much, but you still got to get the dub?
Well, look, this is a Packer team that still has plenty to play for. You know, they're jostling pretty much between number 6 and 7, the last 2 wildcard spots, which right now is a big deal because it's the difference between potentially going to play at Philadelphia in the first round and going to play at a team like the Rams in the first round. Those are 2 very big things. So I understand you don't want to give away too much if you're a team like the Packers, but you can't plan too far down the road. You do need to take care of the business that's in front of you here. So I don't think that necessarily applies to tonight. I also think the New Orleans Saints are clearly a team 1, 2, 3 Cancun. So I like the Packers big in this one tonight.
And we agree to disagree. We do it all the time. But that's why we all don't talk before the show starts as far as our picks are concerned. Raphael, let me come over to you. KY4 says, doing what you love, Coach. Damn it, I love doing this. But from a numbers perspective, when you're talking about the books, how does it change for them?
That they're probably going to add that half a point on Green Bay sometime today to try to get as much sustained action, because you figure this is probably a huge money line bet and teaser bet, because don't forget, there's 2 college football games that you can parlay this Monday Night Football game. There's one going in a half hour, and there's another one this afternoon. So they have to be careful with this game, because people are going to parlay the 2 college bowl games with this Saints one. So it wouldn't shock me we see a half a point added on this one. But if we watch Sunday Night Football, we learned something, that sometimes these teams who are 1-2-3 Cancun are still playing for 1-2-3 bonuses and other roster spots. So keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah, AB, let me come over. That's a really good point. Somebody in the chat also said, what about maybe playing the Packers in the first half? You get out to a quick lead, and then Josh Jacobs takes you home.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. The Packers, honestly, they're kind of a second-half team. I would play them just as insurance because they might need it. You know why? Ask the Bills about that. They were 14-point favorites at home yesterday against the Patriots, and they were losing, right? Sometimes, dude, it's the NFL. It's not given, man. Like those 22 dudes across, right, on each side, those are NFL players as well, right? So, dude, you have to go out and handle your business. If I were doing, I would play the Packers second half because you'll probably get a lower number as well.
Yeah, Dan agrees with you. He said Packers are usually a second-half team. Also, from a prop perspective, remember, there's a lot of guys out there that have incentives in their contracts, 6-figure incentives for sacks, receptions, yards, all that kind of stuff. So really do your homework at home. Rely on us, yes, but you got to dig deep when you're looking at a prop with a team that maybe is out of it or a team that's already locked up their playoff position. All right, gentlemen, it's time to play overs and unders because tonight we still have a lot going on. We'll be live at 7 p.m. Eastern time with Prime Time Live. We're going to piggyback. It's going to be Z will start. Raphael, then AB will go last. Spencer Rattler, Z, we're going to go over under 172.5. What are we doing?
I'm going under. I don't trust Spencer Rattler. You see him out there? I don't trust him further than I could throw him. 172.5. They're trying to pull you into the rope-a-dope. Say, wow, that's such a low number. Let's go over. That number is what it is for a reason. I'm going under 172.5.
I love that reason because this total opened up at 168.5. Give me the over. He has nothing to prove, but maybe for a roster spot next year as a backup quarterback.
I'm taking the over, but I'll tell you this. If you're playing the under on this passing right here, go ahead and play the over in punts because that means that the Saints are not moving the ball at all, and there will be 50 punts in this game. But I'm going to play the over on that one.
Oh, I like it. All right, so we got some dissenting opinions. Let's go to the other side. Jordan, love. His number's 232.5. Z, go.
Yeah, I'm going under on him too. I feel like this. If I like the Packers minus 14, I clearly like the Packers to be running the football in the second half with the lead, draining the clock. So we're going to go under those passing yards for Jordan Love.
Synergy with Love today with Zaslow. So I love the under as well, 232.5. I think they're going to run the ball a lot tonight.
I'm going over. I think that they throw the ball, and I think that Matt LaFleur saw this over the weekend of teams that supposed to easily win, screwed around because they can't mess around in this division. They have to win and keep going. Give me the over here. Packers put it up.
They could still be a team that I still believe that they need to change the rules, and they have a better record than the other 5 or the other 4. At some point, you can't have a team at 13-4 be a 5 seed or whatever it is. You guys know what I'm talking about. All right, let's go to the running backs. Let's go over and under. We're going to start. Yeah, there's no Alvin Kamara running around for the Saints tonight. 52.5 for Miller. Z.
Look, I'm going under here. I'm an under guy tonight, all right? If someone would have said, what kind of guy is Zaslow? I'm an under guy this evening. I think they're going to have to pass the ball a lot. Doesn't mean they're going to pass it well. I think they're going to be trailing most of this game, so we're going to go under for Kendre Miller.
If Kendre Miller had better hands, then I would say maybe look at the rushing over and receiving yards, but he doesn't, so I'm going under 52.5.
I work too hard, all right, to burn money on whatever a Kendre Miller is. I'm out. I'm taking the under, but I've bet nothing on him.
So true. Shout out to producer man. Melanie says, look at those graphics. Fire. Can I tell you, Melanie, between AB and producer man, There's no other remote show that looks like it. Hell, maybe not even a studio show that looks as good as this one. All right, let's go to the other side. We all, at least me and AB, love Josh Jacobs tonight. His number is 90.5. You know, for me, where I'm going. Z, where are you going?
Josh Jacobs, I'm going to go over. That's right. We're going to go over 90.5 yards. I just told you. I think they're going to run the ball a lot in the second half.
This number opened up at 85.5. Why couldn't we post that number right now? But I'll still take the over at 90.5.
You want to talk about studio shows using graphics? Yeah, we built another one. They're still using them over there. All right, so I'm going to take Josh Jacobs over 90.5 yards. He's going to get as many chances as possible.
I mean, you would think that something would change. It is what it is. All right, let's go to the receivers. Marquez Valdez. Is this a Chiefs game or what are we talking about? His number, 31.5. Z, go.
Yeah, well, you know, it's somebody's got to catch some passes. All right, somebody's got to catch 2 or 3 balls. So I'm willing to play over a small number like that for Valdez-Scantling.
Grab this number now because 31.5 will not be there when we're talking tonight. So I'll take the over at 31.5.
MVS revenge game under. I don't want anything to do with him. I think he goes under.
That kind of feels like the entire vibe of the show today. Revenge game. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Melanie says boom. All right, other side, Christian Watson. Now, I cast with him last week. He's become kind of the new favorite target for Jordan Love. His number, not super high also, because I think the books also believe what you're saying, Z. A lot of running tonight. Go.
Yeah, I'll go under on him as well. I don't trust any of the receivers tonight for Green Bay.
Make that 2 under 47.5. A lot of running backs today.
I guess I'm opposite, man. Give me Watson over. I'm telling you, I think the Packers throw it way more than people think that they do. Yeah, I'm up on Watson.
You're consistent. That's for damn sure. You're consistent, AB. By the way, shout out to Melanie. She's our OG. They can keep that old one. We're progressing with the times over here. Melanie, you're damn right that we are. All right, quickly, gentlemen, the Packers play in the NFC North. We have a situation that you only dream about at the end of the year. If the Lions and the Vikings both win this week, the final week of the season not only will determine the division winner, but the number 1 seed and the bye. Sitting here right now, Z, who do you think ultimately will be that number 1 seed?
Well, I think it's the Lions. I mean, that game is in Detroit. You could certainly make the case that Minnesota, because of all the injuries with Detroit, although the Lions looked pretty damn good yesterday. I mean, Jared Goff, unbelievable season he's having. Maybe he's not going to win it, but making a late push for getting some votes for MVP. The funny thing about it is those 2 teams are going to be fighting. I mean, right now they're 13-2, incredible records. And that final game of the season could come down to them being first place and the bye in the NFC. But the only other option is 5th. You're either going to be first or you're going to be 5th. Like, this is going to be one of those years that people are annoyed that a team that could potentially finish year 14-3, let's say, is not going to have a home game in the playoffs.
That's crazy, and I think that's why that rule should change. AB, Lions or Vikings for you sitting here today?
Minnesota Vikings. They're finding every single way to win games. I think that they have a better defense. Now, the Lions at full health, my God, I would take them to win the Super Bowl, and I still might. They're that good. But I think we have to put some respect on the Vikings name, man. This team is they're just phenomenal, and they do it quietly, right? Like, they want you to get all the attention, and then, like, they're good, man. They're really, really good.
And right before our very eyes, Sam Darnold was growing up. Yesterday, they're down late in the game. They got to have a late drive. What do? They put it in the hands of Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson. They make that touchdown, and then they get an interception to win on the road in Seattle. Raphael, you got 25 seconds. Lions, Vikings.
Kirk Herbstreit hates that rule 1 through 5, so he's probably going to be complaining, but I'm taking the Vikings. I've been high on them, skull healthy. Give me the Vikings.
Go ahead, Coach. That's me. I'm going to go, man, when you lose 4 starters last week and you're already missing Aiden Hutchinson, that's 5 defensive starters, and now David Montgomery's out too. Man, it's gonna be hard. But the Vikings, sometimes it's the way they've done it, and they're very, very tough. So I'm gonna go with AB, and I think the Vikings will get it done in Detroit and secure that number 1 seed. Still to come. Oh, we got a lot more to get into, but thank you all very much. The live number is absolutely incredible. It is DTL. It's a Monday. It's Christmas week, and damn it, we are a vibe. All right, we continue on here on our YouTube page for all you degenerates out there. Yesterday, Tiger Woods and his son losing a playoff in the PNC, father and son. But Charlie Woods had his first ever hole-in-one in competition, and his dad talked trash after the round he says, what took him so long? I had my first one at 6 years old. Your thoughts on dad talking trash on his son?
Well, I'll tell you the part that I really like is look at the difference in attention that's given to Tiger Woods and his son and LeBron James and his son. You know, it's two totally different dichotomies, right? And I understand if you take Tiger's son, you take LeBron's son, one of them is a lot better at the thing they're trying to do than the other one. But they seem like they're two very different situations. One of them has so much negative attention surrounding it, and the other one you don't hear a whole lot about, and except for what's being accomplished on their playing field, and that being Tiger and his son on the golf course.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. AB, the fact that Tiger didn't play in a while, couldn't play 2 weeks ago, but he said this tournament is now the most important thing in his life. I think it's pretty cool, and to compete and almost win and then talk trash, that's classic Tiger right there.
Oh, absolutely, man. Look, dude, can you imagine Tiger Woods being your dad? Like, I mean, what is that like, But I love that, like, dude, Tiger forever he had to stay kind of quiet and just focus. And, like, now it looks like he's having so much more fun because it's with his kid. Like, that's my favorite part to see it. And then, like, him and, like, John Daly and his son. Like, dude, it's really cool, man. Like, I love to watch that. Tiger's loving it too, man.
Oh, loving it. And he's so much more personable now than he ever was before, Raphael.
Yeah, I looked at it at the family type. I looked at my brother who has kids and you if you're kids. I looked at it totally like, wow, what a cool thing to see your son hit a hole-in-one. A national TV, everyone got to see it. I didn't look at fame. I looked at the child and the father just creating something just memorable.
Yesterday, me and my son were playing golf in 43-degree weather here in the city that we are in. And my son's had 2 hole-in-ones this year. We had a hole-in-one on the same hole this year. There's nothing better. There's nothing better. We're back in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is a gorgeous, beautiful Monday morning here at DTL. The live number is ridiculous. Do not forget, you can also catch us in the afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern time on all of the stadium apps, Amazon Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV, Roku TV. We are everywhere. And then also tonight we'll be live, DTL Primetime Live, counting down to Monday Night Football. It'll be the Saints and the Packers. Now, before we get into our recap and the whip around, we do have NFL games on Wednesday. AB, we haven't talked about it a lot, but the Chiefs are one team that hasn't complained about it at all. At least I haven't heard anything. They win on Saturday, and now these 4 teams just flip-flop, and they play the other team on Wednesday. Do we like putting these players in a situation where they've got to only have, 3 days off and play on a Wednesday that's normally your first day back to practice?
Yeah, it's a weird spot. You know what I would look at? First quarter and first half unders. All right. It is a weird turnaround, not to mention it's a holiday. It's Christmas. A lot of these players have kids. They have families. They're human beings, right? Like, there's a lot of things going on. They're going to be in hotel rooms, ballrooms, practicing. Like, dude, unders early. Unders.
That's a really good question. He's got it reminds me of JR, Z. He's got a family. Right? So the Chiefs right now are 2.5-point favorites. The Steelers are stumbling to the finish line. However, Z, the Steelers are still technically the number 1 seed, and the Ravens would be the wild card team, even though they have the same record. And then the Ravens are playing the Texans -4.5. And unfortunately for Houston, just a devastating knee injury to Tank Dell. I don't know I've ever seen a reaction like what we saw Saturday when he went down. They wouldn't even show the replay. It was so bad. But Z, do you make anything of this? Is it an advantage or a disadvantage? Because after Wednesday, they both have all the way until January 5th off.
I think it's a major advantage for the team that wins, but we could say that about the Thursday games too, where you don't like playing on the short week. But man, if you win that game, it's essentially an extra built-in bye. I mean, you win on Wednesday, you're not playing again the final week of the season until the following weekend. And for these teams who are playing on Wednesday and had their buys early in the year, week 5, week 6, whatever it may have been, you got an opportunity for another buy this late in the season. But of course, you got to win the game on Wednesday to feel good about it. So, I mean, I don't think there's an advantage one way or the other. All 4 of these teams played on Saturday. They're playing again on Wednesday. I don't think there's any advantage or disadvantage to be gained there. They're all on the same playing field. But the team that wins, huge advantage because you get essentially an extra bye at this time of year.
I agree with that. Shout out to Elliot. He says Chiefs need to beat the Steelers so the Ravens win the AFC North and we force the Ravens and Bills to play each other. The bottom line is, Raphael, you need the Bills and the Ravens to be 2-3. That's what Chiefs fans want because last year they had to go through Buffalo and then to Baltimore to get to the Super Bowl. This year, one less game against one of those two teams would be huge for the number 1 seed Chiefs. Your take?
Yeah, 100% agree. But when you're betting these Christmas games, look for line movement because these are the only 2 NFL games on Wednesday, and people are going to be betting as the numbers have been moving. We might see Kansas City -3 as a road favorite, which opened up around 2. Everyone's betting the over. This one opened up at 41.5. There's a 43 out there. So I like what AB's thinking. Under games on this one. Wait, because I think the public is going to bet overs because if you're unwrapping gifts, do you want to watch an under game? No, you want to watch an over game. You're going to be betting the over.
Okay, very good. By the way, Thursday Night Football this week is the Seahawks and the Bears in Chicago. Thank you, NFL schedule makers. Prime time in Chicago on December 26th. Here we go. Now, we got picks from everybody, and I'm telling you right now, I'm seeing that live number. It's continued to grow throughout the hour, which means a lot of you weren't here at the top of the show, but that's okay. We have you covered in a little something we like to call the whip around. And to answer a question, I scored 37 in this town one time in college. Don't even test me with my college stats. All right, AB, coming over to you. 2 big plays. Let's go.
He's got statues of my man over in that city. Don't ask questions. All right, we're going to go Josh Jacobs. Packers running back 2+ touchdowns tonight, +190. Those count rushing and in the air. Next, we're going to go Saints quarterback Spencer Rattler over 4.5 rush attempts at +115.
Big Chuck. Let's go.
Siri, a little Fiorentina, Udinese, both teams to score, with Fiorentina scoring 8 of 9 and Udinese in 6 of their last 8. And then Inter Milan and Como, also both teams to score. Also a sneaky play, the Como, the first half team total might be in play. And then lastly, we'll go to Portugal, Benfica, Estoril, first half over 1.5 goals, with Benfica matches averaging 1.9 first half goals.
Love those plays today on a Monday. Raphael, talk to me.
Coach, in a text, Michael Knox said he's going to play every Christmas game under. 1 year, every NBA game and all 4 college basketball games went under the total. I need to do the research on what year that was. But give me the Saints team total touchdowns over 1.5 +110. I think they put up 14 points or more in this game. I think their offense moves the ball. And give me Zach LaVine over 24.5 points and assists, $120 against the Milwaukee Bucks. High-scoring game. I think LaVine gets easy points.
Z-Man.
Yeah, second day in a row, home and home, Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning. I like the Panthers on the puck line, -1.5 goals. I'll always take the Panthers plus money. I love Panthers on puck line. That's +160. And how about this? First to 5 shots, the Panthers, -125.
God, I love you, Z, so much. Thank you for being part of the crew, sir. First to 5 shots. We're digging deep. Now, if you're going to cash with the coach, I got 3 big plays. Saints +14. This is a hunch. Week 7 was the last time the Saints had a game that they lost by 14 or won by 14. I'll take my chances. Josh Jacobs, I think he has a bid night for the Packers tonight, over 90.5 rushing yards, or at -115. And then Jazz Cavaliers. Jazz defense is terrible, and the Cavs will play to the pace of their opponent. Let's go over 232, -110. One of 14 games on the docket tonight in the association. All right, a little housekeeping before we get the hell out of Dodge. And don't forget, we still have the podcast coming up later today and primetime later tonight. AB, what did the crew vote on today that we can all play together?
The crew has gone with the Packers, -14. And, Coach, may I offer 10 seconds of wisdom for everybody real quick?
Please.
Okay, 2 games left after tonight in the NFL season, okay? Josh Allen The Bills are going to do everything they can to make sure he wins MVP. Play his props. Number 2, the Eagles are going to do everything they can to get Saquon Barkley to 2,000 rushing yards or more. And you know he's 162 yards away from it. 2 games to do it. And you know who he plays in the final game of the season? The New York Giants. It is unbelievable. So Josh Allen, Saquon props. Play them. They'll get every opportunity to do so.
I did see Adam Schefter say today that if they get to that the Eagles would sit him if it didn't matter in their seeding at all, because then the Giants could slide from like number 2 down to number 7 or 8 and not get the quarterback that they want. That would be next level pettiness. I don't know.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, we're all here for it. All right, Raphael, what is our stat of the day?
I didn't set one in because I forgot, but I have it in my head. The Boston Bruins, their last 12 games as a favorite, 9 of them they have covered, and they're playing Washington today at home. So be careful, Coach.
You can't make this up. I told you, the light of God comes down on you. All right, we've got about 1 minute left. I'll take 15 seconds from each guy heading into this week. Z, what is this week like for you?
Oh, I'm very excited for this week. Obviously, it's Christmas. I hope everyone has a great holiday. But listen to this itinerary. I'm taking my son for winter break. On Thursday, we're driving to Orlando. The Miami Heat are at the Magic. And on Friday, we're driving to Tampa for WWE SmackDown. And then on Saturday, we're driving back to Orlando for AEW World's End. That's an itinerary right there. Come on, everybody.
Wow, if it's all real to me, AB, real quick.
Yeah, look, Christmas Day, presents, that's great. It's food time, all right? Make sure that you're good to go and stocked up and all your favorite snacks. Yeah, let's go. Great.
Raphael, 10 seconds.
Research, and then eat, and drink.
Chuck, bring us home.
Festive features in the EPL are going to be a big one.
You're damn right. We will be here every single day this week, including Wednesday as well for Rant Wednesday. Understand this. There's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. Oh, you've got your marching orders. I love doing this so damn much. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, damn it, do I love them all. My man Z, Raphael, Big Chuck, AB, producer man, I'm the coach, and to all of you, oh, damn it, I love this. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about every single day right here on DTL. Good luck.